What's up, guys? It's your boy Sion, and I'm back covering the MMO show. And a lot of people have asked me questions about why did I change the way the MMO show goes. And the reason why I changed it is because news was really getting to the point where it was boring. To be honest with you, I didn't want to really repeat news that was happening over the week. I didn't want to have it so that you guys are just like, I didn't want you guys getting bored. So I decided to change it up a little bit and make this more of an opinion type of show. Basically my opinion on different things in MMOs, and I will be talking about various games that come out in the future and things like that. But for now, the topic for this week is going to be upgrading the MMO formula. Now what I mean by that is, what things can we do to possibly make MMOs better? And I came up with 6 things that are kind of important for me. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with them or you might actually agree with them, but we're going to go through them. Pretty much they're going to be 1 through 6. Reintroduce gamer interaction rather. Make overwhelming sources of progression, that's number 2. Keep pay to win out of the game at all costs, which is like, oh my god, please. Number 4 is make the world that's so random that it's hardly scripted that no matter how many times you play, no matter how many times you make a build, you're just always going to have a different game. Number 5, make it so you and the story actually matters. And number 6, find ways to make customization more impactful. So let's start with 1. Now the reason why I'm actually saying, reintroduce gamer interaction, because you don't really have to play with anybody anymore. Everybody could be a loner if they want to in any of these games now, and you can be perfectly fine until when it comes time to raid. Of course, you're gonna have to get into a guild and everything else like that, but technically you really don't have to play these games with anybody. That kind of defeats the purpose of an MMO. It's supposed to be massive multiplayer, isn't it? Like what's the point of that? You might as well play Skyrim if you're just not gonna actually do anything or play with anybody. So I think they should come back and actually make it so it's more like, it's just better to play with people. It's more fun to play with people, because I think that's missing right now. The next thing I want to go to is number 2, making the overwhelming sources of progression. Now you should have raid as progression, you should have PvP as progression, you should have, like, if you want to just be like a crafter or something, that should be progression. There should be world progression, not just traveling around the world like in freaking Guild Wars 2 and just finding things, and everything needs to be a source of progression. And there should be different types. Like if you like a solo artist, make progression for a solo artist. If you like one of those people who like making montage PvP types of things, make progression for having a ratio, a certain type of ratio. Like there's so many different ways that progression could be expanded in every game. It doesn't necessarily always have to be horizontal or vertical. You can go on all different directions, and I think that companies should look at that. Like, just don't get caught up in one particular, don't get caught up in the archetype. Like, just go somewhere else, do something else, and make something new that we have never seen before. Like, somebody has to hit gold sooner or later. Like, I just feel that companies are too scared now. They think everything is gonna fail. Like, we just need innovation. So number 3, keep pay to win out of the game at all costs. Now the reason why I say like that, it needs to be out at all costs. There should never be lock boxes with any type of gear that gives you any type of strength. That should never happen ever in any game. There should never be a point where you can buy any sort of power. There should be points, and I see this is where it gets a little bit to the gray. People aren't going to agree with me on this, but I feel that you should be able to do things like get EXP potions. You should be able to do things like, buy clothes and buy other boosters. But there should never be, like, I feel that's kind of like a time thing. So if somebody wants to buy something just to increase their time, I think that should be allowed, because not all of us, like, especially now, like with me, I have to work. I don't have time to sit there and grind out things all day. So if I want to pay for speeding up time, then that should be the case. Now the problem that comes with that is that sometimes people end up stronger than others, especially in cases like PvP, or maybe if there's something like some type of race to kill a boss or something like that. That might be troublesome. Like that might be a problem where having people have sped up time would be an issue. But I'd rather have that than have somebody just run up on you like with God gear that they paid $3,000 for, and you just got your gear that you just basically earned, and they just wipe you out. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that in any game. I don't think that should ever happen in any game. I play a lot of games where that does happen, and it's just like, hey, well, they paid the money, so they deserve to win. I don't think that's the case. That should ever be the case. Now, moving on to 4 is make a world that's random and hardly scripted. Now, this is a little bit hard because, you know, like, you basically have to have the entire world in a massive area with like thousands of players that's randomly changed, which is really hard programming wise, because that means everybody would have to load, that would slow down servers and everything else like that. But I think there's a way that you can actually do that. If you make the world to begin with massively changing and having random things that appear all over the place, not just in one place that it randomly happen, like if it wants to every hour or something like that. Just make things happen all over the place randomly. How I feel about that is, like, let's say if point A is a rebel area that's just like somebody gets mad or something else like this, make it that point A can magically, not magically, but certainly somehow appear in point D or something like that, or it'll change because it's in a different area. Like, let's say if like a king or something is mad because the peasants or whatever isn't paying, and he'll, instead of taking it out on the peasants, he'll get mad and invade another kingdom. And have that be random. Like, have everything have like a certain breakpoint where it can go a different way. When you do that, it makes the world be a whole lot more random. Now, I know eventually you're gonna run out of the randomness and stuff like that, but it makes one area not always be the same thing all the time. And that, like if what you're looking at right now is Elder Scrolls. And this point right here in Elder Scrolls, this is always gonna be like this. This area right here by the by this little port. This port is always going to be the same. These pirates are always going to be here. There's nothing that's going to be different. There's nothing that's going to actually change about it. You're always going to come in here, no matter what build you have, no matter what character you have, this is always going to be the same. Now, wouldn't it be cool if something actually happened different? Like, maybe the local magistrate came in and kicked them out of here, and now it's owned by the magistrate, and then maybe they get corrupted, and you got to kick them out of here? Like, just random things. Like, anything could be changed. Now, number 5 I want to go on is actually making the story mean something, because every time you play a game right now, except for Guild Wars 2, I give them credit for that, nothing means anything. You just go along the string in the story, you going along whatever is supposed to happen, and then you get to a point where it's like, well, you know, I just did the story. Like, kind of like how the way WoW is, and you know, games like Rift and everything. Actually, you know what, Rift not so much, because Rift actually puts you a little bit in the story too. WoW kind of does it, but kind of doesn't. Terra, just, I forget I even mentioned Terra. Cabal 2, you know, Cabal 2 actually integrates you into it. You can make your own character. You appear in cutscenes, and like a pretty epic cutscene that I showed you if you saw a couple weeks ago. I was pretty happy about that one, actually. See, that was a case of being put into the game, and it made it feel like it was your own, and I feel that should happen. Now, speaking of, which is the last thing, is feeling like it's your own, is customization. Customization should be like, every game should put customization in it, even if they like put a little bit of cash app stuff on it, that's fine. It should be in the game to the point where you can make your character look like anything or do anything with the way that your character looks. There should never be a limitation. There should never be 5 faces that you have to pick from all the damn time. There should never be like three hair colors and stuff like that. It should be at the point where when you make your character, it feels like your character. If you want to make a character look exactly like yourself, no matter what game it is, it should always be like that. It should never be templated. I think that is the laziest thing in MMO right now, when companies do that. Hey, let's just make 10 faces, and you gotta be any of the 10 faces. You can't change eyebrows, can't change hair color hardly. It's like the freaking Crayola 10 color box like type of hair and stuff like that. Like, it just needs to actually be impactful. It needs to actually be to the point where you like, damn, I made this character, this looks exactly like me. Or you can put something else fantasy, like if you want to make anybody, you want to make Jessica Alba, make Jessica Alba in the damn game. You want Janet Jackson, make Janet Jackson. You want Lou Ferrigno, make, like, you want the freaking Hulk in the game, make it so you can make the Hulk. There should never be any type of limitation to all this type of stuff. And the reason why I'm saying things like this and, you know, making these type of videos is because companies are looking at it, and I just want to put it out there. So if you guys got anything to add to this, I'm pretty much at the end of this video. Please, in the comment box below, give me whatever you want to say. Like, also an MMO site is gonna be up on MMO site. whatever you want to add to this, whatever you want, whatever your dreams or desires is, now is the time to say it. If you have any game that you want me to cover, let me know. My time is limited. I'm having a lot of hard times right now, personally in my life right now. I'm trying to fight through it. I'm trying to do my best and keep this channel going, because you guys keep supporting me and keep giving me love, so I'm gonna keep trying to do it as best as possible. But like I said, just whatever information that you have, or you would like to see, or you just want to say hi, I can use as much highs and love as I can get right now. You can do that. So other than that, you guys be legendary. Thank you for continuing to watch my channel. Thank you for continuing giving me love, because believe it or not, it actually means a lot to me at this point in my life. So you guys, peace. Thank you for watching the latest video on the channel. If you enjoyed what you've seen here, please like, share, and subscribe. You can also click the bottom left there and follow the latest MMO show. You guys be legendary, and I will see you next video. Peace.